Josh Steffler, wearechange.victoria.org, Freedom Free for All Television. I'm here, Victoria Centennial Square, April 20th. Victoria's 420 celebration with head organizer Ted Smith. Hi, Ted.
Hey, Josh.
How do you feel about the turnout tonight?
Oh, this has been an awesome day. I think it's good that it was on Easter because it seems like a lot of parents kept their high school kids home. So this is the most mature crowd that we've ever had for 420. It's been nice and mellow and just a lot of fun.
How many people do you think turned up today?
I'm probably going to stick with about 1,700. We've been around that for the last few years. It might have even been a bit smaller. I'm not sure. The numbers weren't that big this year, but
a lot more mature crowd. I've noticed that there was literally no trouble here this year.
Yeah, it's been really super mellow, which has been great, and it's something that when there's a lot of 12 and 13-year-olds around, it feels uncomfortable for people, and we haven't seen much of that at all this year. It's much more mature crowd, which is nice.
So in the last year, I think we've seen Denver or Colorado and Washington State legalize. Alaska's talking about legalizing. What does it look like for BC for you? When are we going to legalize?
Well, BC won't do anything different from the rest of the country in terms of legalizing. We tried to decriminalize it with the Sensible BC campaign last year, so that would be a policy of non-enforcement, which is halfway there. But the whole country will probably switch over at once. I guess it depends on two factors. We could see a real push for it under Justin Trudeau if he gets elected. But even if he doesn't, the United States is crumbling here. They're desperate for money, and in the saddest of ways, it's going to be greed that frees the weed. And it's happening rapidly down there. The business investors and all these people are like, yeah, we should be making money off this shit. And that's what it is. What it is. It's sad on many levels, but here we go.
In your entire time of campaigning for legalization, did you ever think that you would see the United States start to legalize before British Columbia?
No. I thought that Europe might lead the way, or something, but I never suspected it to come from the United States. But now that I'm here at this point in my life, I see how it couldn't come from anywhere else. They were the impetus behind it. They're the world's leading, economic monster. Yeah. And so without their cooperation in this matter, it's a real struggle.
It's kind of ironic that freedom down there is coming from greed, though, hey?
Oh, in some ways it sickens me to see people looking at, the cannabis industry as just another way to make a whole lot of money. And in medical cannabis in particular here in Canada, there's over 650 licensed producers signed up for this new medical marijuana program. And there's not that many patients for them to buy from, but there's this feeding frenzy where they all feel like they can get in on this action while it's early and make all this money. And it's like patients that aren't being covered by healthcare, that are paying out of their pocket, for this medicine that they should be able to grow in their own backyard. Yeah. And so, it's sad, but here we are. We've had $1 billion invested in the medical cannabis industry in Canada this year.
That's amazing. It's gonna become legal here in Canada. It has to. I hope that British Columbia can sort of lead the way with Sensible BC, and you'd think we'd be the first province to legalize. So while we were interviewing Ted, there was a fire in the background. Interesting television. You couldn't make more interesting television. Live fire in the middle of an interview. Ted jumps to the rescue. We're at a 420 event, and so, people think everybody's stoned, reaction slow. This guy's reaction is lightning quick. He's up over the wall, climbs up the tree, starts patting it frantically, puts the majority of the flames out. People quickly organized to get water dumped on the tree. We had people up at the top of the parkade drop water on the top of the tree. And then we had the situation pretty much completely under control. And then the fire department and the police came. The firemen soaked the area so that there's no further damage, no smoldering. The tree looks fine. There's been no property damage. It looks like no harm. And the policemen came and they acted in lawful, peaceful authority. They didn't come and harass anybody. They came, they assessed the situation. They essentially did their job. So congratulations to Victoria Police. You know, that's how we want to see police act peacefully in take care of the situation and out. Nobody was hurt, nobody was harmed. Everybody's happy, and that's what a free society should really be about.
This is complete disrespect to the city that lets us be here. We've put this on every year for everybody to have a good time. This is complete disrespect. We can't have this ever again.
Who do you think did this?
I'm not too sure, but there's beer cans up there. We don't want drinking here. We've always said no, this is an alcohol-free event. This is a pot event, no alcohol. This is complete. Sorry.
Okay, so we're back right after the fire that interrupted where Ted saved the day. Right in the middle of the interview, we had a fire in the background and Ted jumped up, saved the day. You're a hero, man.
Well, I got to do what I can, you know. I'm more than a cannabis activist. Sometimes I've been pigeonholed as somebody that just does pot stuff, but there's a whole range of things that I care about in this community and the world for that matter. And so I'm not very happy about what just happened, but I'm glad that I was here and able to react so quickly to it, or that fire might have been a lot worse.
Yeah, and what do you think about the police and how they handled the situation?
Oh, the police and fire department were really excellent and professional. You know, they're not here to do anything but their job, and they realize that their job isn't to bug peaceful citizens having fun at City Hall. And so they quite clearly saw how this was, you know, an act of one or a very few that were, you know, was ruining the good time of, you know, many other people. So
those guys were not with you guys, do you know?
Just a bunch of teenagers, man. You probably saw them in the back of the film there. They were out of here so quick. But yeah, it was just a bunch of kids. I sort of saw them there all afternoon, but until that point, it didn't really matter much to me.
What a interesting 420. You know, I think this is the last one you're hosting here, you were saying?
I may end up emceeing, but in terms of really organizing and putting it together, yeah, this is my last one. So sad that it would have to end on such a note, but at least that didn't happen before 420.
No, man, it ended, and you were the hero. From the public, you know, thank you for doing what you do, and we look forward to seeing you in the community, Ted.
Thank you very much, Josh.
Josh Steffler, we are changevictoria.org and Freedom Free for All Television. Do you want to give a shout out to your website?
Anthology.ca.
All right, that was good.